welcome to my Sunday Frump. Today is just a general breakfast mukbang. I don't have anything special. Here I have oatmeal with peaches and cinnamon on the top. I have here my wafer cookies, and I have a little mocha cappuccino here. And we'll just get started. Today's topic is a true crime that is a current ongoing investigation, and I wanted to get into it. It's about the Kansas City Chiefs fan's death. There were 3 recent deaths in Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri. It had to do with a watch party. They were watching NFL LA Chargers versus Kansas City Chiefs on January 7th, 2024, this year. And yeah, so let's get into it. Let's try this oatmeal. I just cooked it up real fast in the microwave. So good. I'm gonna try this cappuccino. That's really good. So this watch party involves 5 friends. Now these 5 friends were watching a party all night long. Now this wasn't a regular party. This was like an event like that took place for hours, and they said that it ended during Jeopardy. They were watching Jeopardy. So I don't know why they had Jeopardy on at 3 in the morning, but I guess. But this is just allegations and my observation. But so the watch party, they had all taken a car. Well, 3 had taken a car. One was the host. He lives alone. And one that survived, other than the host, he had just recently came out. And so they had all been consuming alcohol that during the day and before. And I wrote before, during, and after, because the story of how it unfolded came out that there was alcohol consumption afterwards. So before, during, and after the watch party, the game, they were drinking. I guess I should give you the backstory. They're all Kansas City Chiefs fans. And so the host lives alone in the building. And when he was finally able to interact with somebody regarding the deaths, he was incoherent. He was visibly indulging in wine consumption. He had an empty glass of wine in his hand. He was in his briefs, and that was all he had on. And the cops came to his house to talk to him about the deaths of his friends. So the host, like I said, he lives alone, and he was by himself the whole time. He was found by himself, although the cops did find that he wasn't really like, he didn't seem like a bad guy. And although I can tell you that my background with the Missouri, like the whole situations that arise from my personal experiences, I did find that the media and the police, the way things are handled, I don't feel like it's a thorough thing. I think it's more clout. And I say that with a lot of sympathy, because I feel like, you know, every community, we're all part of the same community. We all can build. We all have potential. And we all need to come together and unite. And we need to be more, not confrontational, but more active. You know what I'm saying? Because when we do something, any little thing to promote that community, we are building not only bonds, we're not only building, you know, the trust as a community, but we are also building a defense against bad things to happen and come into play in our neighborhoods, and make us feel unsafe when we are gathering in, you know, in these areas, you know. And I feel like this is very important that we talk about it. We need to talk about it, you know. You guys know that you know, it's a true crime's a kind of like a major part of my life. Like, I follow true crime. Whenever I can help something that happens, I will help. Whenever you know, somebody reaches out to me, I like to be available, you know. And I know that I can rely on the others and that are part of this, you know, kind of like a subgroup, you know, to you know, unite with our information and relay it to whoever needs to hear it. And we get a lot of clout ourselves just based on the fact that we are online. So I think because of this stigma, you know, it's kind of harder to do what we want to do for the community. And I think it's a lot with people who make a lot of money off of exploitation. And in these instances, we are not. We are coming together and sourcing and, you know, researching and investing all our resources in one group. It's kind of feels like, you know, betrayal when somebody distrusts us without, you know, proving why, you know, or how, you know, and to make us feel like we could never be a part of, you know, something. We're the ones who started it, you know what I mean? So the two survivors were the host and the recent fifth friend who came out, but he came out through a lawyer, and these were all men. And as time will tell, the autopsy is still ongoing. There is suspected fentanyl poisoning, or at least poisoning. Even, you know, the host, who alleges he had nothing to do with it, he claims that he hopes that he finds answers himself soon, and he claims that, you know, he wonders what could have caused the deaths. Now, the close circles of these three victims demand answers. They themselves searched for these men. They also researched what could have happened to them. Why are these close circles of the 3 victims doing this stuff? Why are they participating in these activities and, you know, coming out and getting interviewed and stuff? Well, because the autopsy was undetermined this week and it was ongoing. Like I said, it was January 7th, which is almost a month ago, you know? It's gonna be. It was undetermined, so they don't know the cause of death. And they need more tests run. So this was happening 2 days that they were searching themselves. And it says January 9th, according to the fiance, she went physically to the home of the host, whose name is Jordan Willis, who is 38 years old, a 20-year friend of of at least 2 of them, 2 of the 3, and has been friends with one of them for several years. She went to that home, and herself found a body on the back porch. The attempts to contact the host were failed. He claimed that he was awake and heard nothing. He now claims that he was asleep with a loud fan and AirPods inside of his ears, earbuds, like a headset inside of his ears. And like I said, he lives alone, so there was nobody else as a point of contact within that building, that structure. He was the sole person that was hosting that event as well. And like I said, he claims innocence and still to this day claims that he needs closure and wants and answers to the outcome of this entire situation. How could this have happened in his own backyard? So with that said, rest in peace to 36-year-old Clayton McGinney, 37-year-old David Harrington, and 38-year-old Ricky Johnson. These are the 3 victims, and like I said, they're from Kansas City, Missouri, and died at this watch party. Kansas City Chiefs fans. So I have notes down. It says there was no foul play suspected. There was no marks on the body. No signs of physical abuse. There was no drugs, there were no drugs taken, prevalent at the scene. They were not out. There was no drugs out. There was no involvement in these sort of activities, that were seen from the naked eye, according to the police. So, according to me, and in my opinion, and in my experience, when I go to a watch party, this alcohol theme, this is too much for me. An alcohol theme that took place to where this was a known alcoholic. I mean, obviously he's drinking in the morning, the wee morning. He's already intoxicated while trying to host a party. The others were as well intoxicated, and they were drinking and drove over there. Some of them also drinking at a party to the point where it's, now there's this investigation and it's mystery. This is a bad look Okay, I don't know who needs to hear this, but when you're drinking, you need to be a lot more respectful, you know, for yourself, for the community, and also, you know, to the point where this man doesn't recall much afterwards. He had very little to say to the police. That amount of alcohol is a red flag, not only for the community, you know, for your close circles, for your social circles. You know, if you're talking to people who have that much alcohol in their system, they do not need to be hosting parties. These parties would be toxic influences in your lives. You guys need to understand that your associates speak a lot about you, and this alcohol theme speaks volumes about what they were engaging in at the party. And for me, going to a party that the host is that wasted is suspect in and of itself. You know, and understandably there's an investigation, and nobody understands why he hasn't been picked up or arrested, and he's been interviewed. Obviously his lawyer's been asking him questions countless times, and again, it continues and has continued to change in narratives and stories and points of view. But like I said, he continues to claim innocence. So the bodies were found, like I said, in the backyard. 2 were found in the yard in the grass. Actually, it might have kind of had freeze on the ground, and the bodies were frozen, all 3 of them, even the one on the back porch. The temperature at the time was 29 degrees, so it was very cold for those 3 nights, I guess, 2 days that they had, 2 days that they had been out. It says Willis claims he did not see them or their cars, which, like I said, they drove over there. 2 cars were left, and he would have rendered aid and contact the authorities had he seen them. He said he would have rendered aid and contacted them and told them, you know, that there was something going on. He works for a hospital, so that is a major red flag for me. He works for a hospital, and he works from home. He is a scientist. His place of employment that he works for, which is tethered from an online you know, base, is in New York. So we're talking states away. It's in the north of the United States, but it's states away. He researches HIV. So he is a real scientist. He does do research for this hospital in New York, and he does work from home on a computer. He claims, now this is, I guess you can call this an alibi. He claims he was slept the 48 hours until the police had called. Now, when the police had called was because the fiance, like I said, had went to the home physically herself and checked the backyard and found the body. This was 9:51, the authorities contacted him. 9:51 p.m., 48 hours later. Okay. Let's see. The fifth person, like I said, that came out with his legal team, stated that he left earlier. He stated that he started saying his goodbyes as they all walked to the cars and parted ways. So that's his statement through his lawyer. They were all near the door, going home, walking out into the driveway, in the street, you know, wherever they parked, walking towards their cars, saying bye and, you know, I'll see you later. He got into his car, he, you know, he waved, said goodbye, whatever, bye. He got into his car and left. He didn't see them get into their car and leave. He saw them walk towards where their vehicles were parked, and as he got in and took off in his own vehicle, he did not look back and he did not see them again afterwards, of course, because they had perished. The host claims he went upstairs to bed in the early morning. Like I said, this allegedly happened all night, the party, and that they were all still there. Like I said, he alleged they were all watching Jeopardy as he went upstairs to go to sleep. Now, the people who I said were doing research, the close circles of the victim, they were on social media looking for their loved ones, and it says they were left on red in all socials. This man, like I said, works on the internet, so he has social media. So they did try contacting him on social media, and he left them all on red. And it says that he refused to pick up the phone or respond to messages and texts. So all the messages that they sent them were marked red. And he's on the computer. His alibi was that he was working for those 48 hours, working and sleeping those whole 48 hours, and refused to answer those, even though they were marked that he had read them. And like I said, he didn't respond back, and to this day he maintains his innocence. And again, I hope they all find closure, that this community may be in a better space soon because of maybe some type of finding, and hopefully they will find the closure soon that they need, you know, to begin to heal and grieve proper. And so my condolences to these victims' families, and may they rest in peace. And you know, hopefully, you know, we all find out what happens so we can all learn and grow from this. And so thank you guys for joining me today, and I'll see you guys again soon on my Son de Front. Bye bye.